India. Magnificent and maddening. Fascinating and frustrating. Wonderful and weird. Truly a travel destination like no other. But if you're thinking of coming on holiday here, particularly for the first time, where on earth do you begin?
India is a vast land of epic mountains and searching deserts, of steaming jungles and endless beaches. It's a place of thriving cities and quiet, picturesque villages, a place of magnificent architecture with a delicious and varied cuisine, a myriad of distinctive cultures and creeds, and a history that dates back into the mists of time. But where does all that leave the modern traveller looking for a holiday? Confused? Quite probably.
My name's Johnny Bealby. I founded Wild Frontiers and we specialise in trips to the Indian subcontinent.
My personal India story actually started when I was just a small boy. My grandmother lived here during the dying days of the Raj, and my mother was born here, and the stories they told have been with me ever since I can remember. As a traveller, journalist, tour operator and guide, I've been coming here for more than 3 decades. I'm even renovating a small farmhouse in rural Rajasthan.
And in this short film, I'm going to show some of the possibilities that will hopefully make choosing the right holiday just a little bit easier. So if you're thinking of coming to India for the first time, you're probably wondering where to start. Well, that part at least is quite easy, as most people travel either to Rajasthan, the land of kings, and the famous Golden Triangle of the north, or they head south to Kerala.
Dealing with Rajasthan first, there are very good reasons why over half of all first-timers travel here. Firstly, it's close to Delhi, where there are excellent flight connections, and which in itself is a fascinating city. A veritable tale of two cities, Delhi combines the hustle-bustle of the dramatic Mughal Old Town with its narrow alleys, its markets and mosques, with the sublime New Town, where the quiet parks and tree-lined avenues are peppered by some of the country's most magnificent architecture. From here you can travel easily, either by car or train, down to Agra, where most will go to visit the essential and truly amazing Taj Mahal. And from here, either travelling via the Tiger Park at Ranthambore, which does offer one of the best chances in the world to see tigers in the wild, making up the third stop in the triangle, there's the quintessential Rajput town of Jaipur, with its bustling bazaar, its famous Palace of the Winds, and the nearby Amber Fort. And that in itself makes a great 7 to 10 day holiday.
But if you have a bit more time and want to scratch a little deeper beneath the surface of what is arguably India's most colourful state, then we at Wild Frontiers advise you to step off the well-worn tourist trails to travel into her more rural areas, where you can see some of her amazing village life and stay at some of the extraordinary Rajasthan palaces, now converted into some of the most atmospheric hotels anywhere in the world, like at Ramatra, Deogarh, Benswara, or here at Castle Jaipur.
Using Castle Jaipur as a base, you can ride the famous Marwari horses, go for bike rides into the countryside, or just enjoy a bit of relaxation by the pool. There are many such properties in this part of India which you can mix up with other famous towns like Pushkar, Bundi or Jodhpur.
And a great place to finish off your trip to Rajasthan is the lake city of Udaipur.
Sitting on the banks of the beautiful Lake Pichola, Udaipur is a stunning place, packed with impressive palaces, temples and shops. It's easy to navigate and walk around and is often referred to as Venice of the East. Not only is this one of my favourite towns in India, it also has very convenient flight connections back to London, meaning you can spend your last night here, having dinner at one of the wonderful rooftop restaurants, and bounce straight through without being forced to spend an extra night either in Delhi or Mumbai. Rajasthan is arguably India's most colourful state. It has most of the country's must-see attractions and some of her best hotels. If you like to travel in a small group, our Taj Temples and Tigers tour would tick all of these boxes, as would our India in Slow Motion tour if you like your travels a bit more off the beaten track. And if you like to travel privately, then give us a call and one of our expert travel planners will be happy to help design a trip especially for you.
However, if you're looking for something a little less frenetic, maybe a real holiday, then why not head south to the beautiful state of Kerala, which is where I am now.
Kerala is a stunning state situated on the southern tip of the Indian subcontinent, and if Rajasthan in the north represents a great place for travel, Kerala, with its beautiful beaches, its temple culture, and its meandering backwater cruises, offers the chance to truly relax and enjoy a more traditional holiday.
A great routing here is to fly into Bangalore, then drive down through Mysore, where you'll find a colourful market and an immense palace, before heading onto the beach. There are a number of great beach properties dotted up and down the Malabar coast, but in my opinion, there's none more special than Nileshwar Hermitage.
Here you can relax, walk along the beach, enjoy a truly delicious cuisine, and take a backwater cruise. Using these old converted rice barges to float through the tranquil backwaters is a quintessential part of any trip to the south. And from here, you can continue down the coast to another of my favourite towns, Cochin, a place that hasn't changed much from when my mother lived here as a small girl. This route makes for a perfect 10-day holiday. But if you have a bit more time and want to turn your holiday into more of a travelling experience, you can head up to the hill stations of Ooty and Munnar and on into temple-filled Tamil Nadu.
Rajasthan and Kerala form the ideal locations for the inquisitive traveller looking to come to India for the first time. So now you've seen the sights of Rajasthan and Kerala, and assuming that you, like me, have fallen in love with India, a world of opportunities opens up. North, south, east or west, you can go anywhere you want to go. So which is the best way to go?
Perhaps the most obvious way to go from here is to head east out of Delhi, down the Ganges plain towards Calcutta and the Bay of Bengal. From Delhi you could travel to Rishikesh, where the Beatles once stayed composing the White Album, through the extraordinary cities of Lucknow and Allahabad, and on to Varanasi. We have a wonderful group trip called Slowly Down the Ganges that does just this, taking a local fishing boat for 3 days down India's most iconic and spiritual rivers before arriving in one of her most revered towns. No matter how many times you come to Varanasi, with its bathing ghats, funeral pyres and endless ceremonies, it's a place that will always move you. And that's not all.
One of the things I love about coming to India is drinking the lassi. That's the curd yogurt drink they make out of buffalo milk. And there's nowhere better in India to drink lassi, in my experience, than Amritsar in the Punjab or Varanasi, which is where I am now. I'm about to try some. Oh, it's just delicious, very sweet, but it's absolutely fantastic. And they put the buffalo cream on top, which is delicious.
From Varanasi, you can either head to the wonderful city of Calcutta, my favourite of all India's mega cities with its flower markets, famous monuments and iconic landmarks, or head into central India. Central India is definitely one of my favourite regions of the whole country. A vast area comprising some of India's best national parks, ideal for spotting the elusive tiger. Some fascinating cities and towns such as Bhopal, Jaipur, Hyderabad and of course Mumbai, the wonderful Goan beaches and more UNESCO World Heritage Sites than any other part of the country. Perhaps the most famous being the Erotic Temples at Khajuraho.
Most people know Khajuraho for the Erotic Temples, the temples carved from the Kama Sutra, but they only represent 10% of the overall carvings here. And I think what gets you about this place is not so much those, although they are amazing and quite extraordinary, but it is really the scale of the craftsmanship here, the thousands and thousands and thousands of beautifully intricate carvings. It really is one of the most extraordinary places I've ever seen.
And if this doesn't appeal, or perhaps you've already been, then why not go a little more offbeat to Gujarat, which is one of the most fascinating and yet unexplored regions of the whole country. The temples at Palitana, another World Heritage Site, are among the best in India. The landscapes of the Rann of Kutch are epic and home to some of the subcontinent's most interesting wildlife, and the tribal people that live here are quite unique, creating some of the finest textiles anywhere in the world. And if that doesn't appeal, why not head for the hills?
Another region you might want to look at if returning to India is the fabled Himalayan region of Ladakh and Kashmir. This is a part of India that I love and has drawn me back over the years time and again.
Kashmir, with its breathtaking lakes and beautiful mountains, its iconic houseboats and atmospheric towns, is a great place to come and relax. And now, after almost 2 decades, the British Foreign Office have finally lifted their advice against coming here, meaning there is even more reason to come and enjoy what is one of the world's oldest holiday destinations. From Kashmir, taking one of the most amazing road trips anywhere in the world, you can head up to Ladakh, a stunning, dramatic mountain desert kingdom, Buddhist in culture, that once formed a part of Tibet.
We have a number of group tours that take in these regions. A journey to Ladakh, which takes you on a mega road journey to the Buddhist mountain kingdom. Hill stations to Kashmir, which will show you some of the interesting towns such as Shimla, Dharamsala and Amritsar on your way to Kashmir. Or even our ever popular high road to Kashmir that connects Ladakh with Srinagar.
And remember, if you'd rather a private holiday, just give us a call or drop us a line and we'll organise everything for you.
All of these regions offer great opportunities for those that have been to India once, twice, or a few times before and are looking for something different. And finally, if you consider yourself a true Indophile like me and have been to India umpteen times, there are still a few little gems to keep you entertained.
First of all, you can head right up into the far northeast of the country, close to the Burmese border and Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. Here you'll find a very different kind of India, with a very different kind of Indian, more closely linked to their relatives across the border in Southeast Asia than their compatriots in Mumbai. We have a group trip that takes you right into the heart of this region, on the famous Brahmaputra River and on to the Hornbill Festival, which takes place early every December. Or you could head south of Calcutta and take a look around Orissa, visiting the temple town of Bhubaneswar and then the tribal heartland of India, where, among others, you'll meet members of the Bondo tribe, said to be the original inhabitants of the subcontinent. Again, we have a tour called Indian Tribal Odyssey that will take you to all these places.
India is a land of infinite possibilities and has enough travel experiences to keep you entertained for a lifetime. Hopefully this short film will have given you some great ideas, but if you're still a little bit confused and would like more advice, then why not call one of our India specialists on the number below, or write to us at info@wildfrontierstravel.com. But my advice is to come to India. It truly is one of the best travel destinations on the planet.